All right, we are back at the man cave. Thank you all for joining in. You guys are awesome. Got a video here to you today. I know Anton Daniels. I don't really know the other people, but I know that chick and that dude with on the left with the dreads. The other two I don't really know, but this show is going to be about single mothers and, you know, why it's a good thing. Shall we roll it? Samantha, roll it.
And that wants to run everything, it's going to be difficult having two lions in the family, because a man like Anton is going to show up as the man. I'm doing this. I'm handling this. This is my village. To have another man that has come in and have any type of say so at all, I can see how that could be.
I
difficult.
definitely believe we got to speak for prioritize.
We got to think about
families.
it. I want women to understand this. Just because a man has a penis, don't make him a man. He could be a male. There's not a lot. Most men aren't lying. Let's make sure that's understood.
Okay.
Right? So some men can raise another man's child because the real father ain't a lion. He's more like a gazelle. You know what I'm saying? The lion is now here. And I believe, I believe in God and I believe in everything is a reason, right?
Right.
And like my dad is a bitch ass nigga. My step pops, he ain't playing. You feel me? So like, I was already one that wasn't playing coming out the woodworks.
Yeah.
So then if my dad was there, hypothetically, I would probably clash with him because he was already soft. You know what I'm saying? And I don't believe that just because you gave birth to something means that you are the best one to raise that.
Come on, let's talk about
that person that you gave birth to, whether you're a man or a woman.
So you believe nurture versus nature?
Yes.
Because nurturing that child is more important than possibly more important than nature.
I believe that nature.
Absolutely.
See, here's the thing: we get so confused about nature as if you are the only one of this child. There's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 generations of nature within this child that you ain't exuding yet. You remember the Punnett Square? In the Punnett Square, you had a 1 in 4 chance of being something.
Yes.
Right. So this child can have the bottom right quadrant, and you might have top left.
Yeah.
You ain't fit to build, to raise that child, to be honest. So maybe somebody else who is in that bottom right quadrant is gonna be able to understand that man or that young woman or that young boy and really help them grow into what they need to be.
So I'm gonna let Anton speak, but this is what irritates me. It is by far one of the most easiest things the man ain't ish, right? Father ain't ish. I don't like when we go out here and we say that man ain't ish nonsense, because what you're saying is that mommy has bad taste in men. But you ever notice we don't ever say that? Like he said, his daddy was a bitch, you know what? And this is why I really chastise a lot of women who say this. I'm not in any way, shape, or form trying to say that men are exonerated, but you chose that bitch a N-word. She must have thought that he was worthy of her wound. This is why you should not pass this down to your children, because I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying there's a possibility that she passed down that mindset to him. Like, for some reason, I feel like, yeah, he's a product of a single mother. You basically are speaking like your mama, which is a problem. You should never talk down about your father because he gave birth to you. Because if you won't do it to your mama, no matter how much of a crack fiend she is, no matter how low down she is, you should have the same respect to him. Why? Because she kept you. You know she can abort you, right? In the mindset that we're normalizing saying that you should just, well, if you can't do the job, some lame simp will. That's a problem. That's how women never learn their mistakes, because they're too busy having someone that'll fill in the blanks later so that they don't have to worry about it.
You would advise your son to get with a woman that already have children.
If that
Children, you would be okay with that?
Children,
remove yourself out.
I don't think nobody advises those scenarios for their children,
the
right?
problem is that
but sometimes it just happens because they just might be in love. You can't control who
you can't,
love.
because marriage is a business
Please,
first.
that's some stupid.
It's a business
Do
first.
some.
We know statistics of what it is when men are where children are raised in certain type of household. We know what the statistics are, right? And so I'm not gonna sit here and say a man isn't a man based off of some criteria that we make up, right? Because I use data. The reality is this: what we are doing is excusing bad behavior.
Yep.
And instead of us going to the mothers and say, hey, why are you not accountable for who it is that you decided to open up your legs to?
Bullshit.
Because we ain't having that conversation. The only thing we saying is, oh, that's a bitch ass nigga. But you opened up your legs to him. He wasn't a bitch ass nigga when you had sex
He
with
might
him.
have been.
When you know. But my point is
My point, but the point is, like, if he was, why did you open up your legs to him? Why is it that women like, oh, he may have been, but you opened it up to him? See, my thing is, when it's an actual lame, not the pookie lame, the pookie lame you like, the lame you don't like. You can spot him a mile away and you know not to open your legs to him. But the dude with no job, probably got priors, is a scammer, that's the one you open up your legs to. And y'all pretend that either they're not like that or you can change them. Please.
I mean, if we're
when we
it.
continue to do this, we validate bad behavior.
What
You
is the
can
bad behavior?
Because you're saying that you can recover from this, when in reality we know statistically that child has a much greater chance of going to jail, a much greater chance of needing therapy, a much greater chance of joining a gang. He has a much greater chance of being less successful. And instead of us saying, hey, hold that accountable so that this don't happen to the next generation.
I think I'm missing context.
No.
If what?
If
He has
that's-
a much greater chance of doing all that. If what?
To say it's a guy's responsibility to raise this child based off of a village concept or a community concept, or because he's a real man, removes the accountability from the woman of actually making sure that she picked the right guy and to marry before she carried in the first place.
So what happened? I married before I carried, and then I got a divorce.
But that's not the norm.
See, this is why I don't like her. She always want to do that gaslighting, and this is why you know people who don't like a narrative that doesn't go with them. They'll bring it, well, I was married and it didn't work out. It don't matter. Statistically, people who are married and took the time to vet their partners is a better environment for their children. This is what women do. They don't ever want to accept the fact that, no, it don't matter. You yourself, anecdotally, said, I was married and it didn't work out, so that means that they're both together. Statistically speaking, being married is actually better for a child than just two people who are effing. I hate when they do that. They try to make it seem like getting married is not important, but when they want marriage because nobody wants to get married, then all of a sudden marriage becomes important. This is that nonsense I'm talking about. That mental gymnastics that women do to try to excuse it. You know it's a done deal. It's a done deal being with a single mother, but you don't like that. So that's why you say dumb stuff like that.
Because what I see on Instagram and social media is people
I'm trying to figure out what we talking about.
What I see on Instagram and social media is when a woman get pregnant, regardless of whether she married, it's congratulations, sis.
Okay.
That's what I see.
I agree. Listen,
should we throw stones at her?
Absolutely.
Yes, you should.
Antoine, shut up. You do not do that.
You said that.
100%.
Congrats.
I'm going to tell them before they finish. I'm sorry to cut it. I am really sorry, fellas. But the honest truth is, yes, you should throw stones at her. You should make her a pariah. When a child got pregnant in school, she was shunned. The parents had to move. You have to make it something so bad, so embarrassing that the family had to move to another county because you made decisions when the world told you, when your family told you, when your schools told you what happens when you have sex. Y'all pretend that you don't know what that's about. When you have sex, you can make a baby. When you have unprotected sex, you can make a baby. What we got is 16 and pregnant, but we don't show what happens to the girls that go through this and don't have support. That's why they have so many videos where the parents are all supporting them and they want to demonize the boy like he forced herself on him. This is what that era of where the accountability went out the window. Yes, you are a single mother. You should be shunned because you're supposed to get and have a child. When you get married because you chose the right man for you. And you want to sit here and be congratulated because you made a piss poor decision. Do you get a promotion for making a piss poor decision? No. Because what happens, you didn't do the right job. You didn't do the thing you were supposed to be doing. So, of course, you don't get a promotion. But when as a woman, you can make as many mistakes as you want. You don't want your child? Destroy it. Take this pill. Drop it off here. Take it to the hospital. Take it to the church. Take it to a firehouse. Put it in a lockbox so that the people inside can take your child and never get him again. You're never demonized for that. You're never considered a deadbeat mom for doing any of those things. But a man doesn't want to take care of a child that may or may not be his. Oh, he's a bad man. I don't like his men. Men should just take care of children even if it isn't theirs. Give me a break.
Congratulating a woman, but if you want to throw accountability at anybody, throw it at the man that left the family.
It's a small minority.
Right?
It's a small percentage of men that's having a majority of the children. Most black men are not having children out of wedlock. That is a falsehood. And so when we sit here, when we want to solve for a problem, we solve for the majority, not the minority. And when you look at the statistics, most black men are not having children out of wedlock. It's a small minority of men that's having the majority of the children
small group
with a whole lot of women.
How
do a woman have a child without a wedlock without the man too?
What I'm saying is, if we got 99% of the men, and we said we're going to hold all of them accountable.
No, I'm saying, like, if the woman had the child, well, like, she didn't have it by herself.
I'm explaining
so did he.
If we got 99% of men to do the right thing, it takes 1% of men to populate the majority of the women.
True indeed.
So even if you hold all men accountable, it doesn't solve for the problem.
No, it's not about all men. It's about holding everybody accountable.
We do, but men by default are automatically held accountable.
Let me go back to this stepdad situation real fast, because I have a stepfather, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he didn't raise me. My grandfather raised me,
mm-hmm.
right? So I didn't personalize my stepfather because that's who my mom is married to.
Yeah, that's who your mom chose.
That's her relationship. I have examples. Around me that I don't have to look towards him. His only job, honestly, for me, is just to be example of a good person, a human being, period. Right. I don't need him to be my father. I don't even need
that's how it should be.
Right? It's just simply just be a good dude, treat my mom good. And I mean, I don't care what y'all going through. Y'all not being physical, that's fine.
How old were you when he came into your life?
I was in middle school, so that's what, like,
you was
12.
already big.
Well, I was big because I'm 6'5", bro. I've been big.
No, I'm saying you were older as.
I'm gonna hope to God that you was okay. Just trying to lighten the mood. I just see one man talking to a whole bunch of women right now. I'm gonna stop talking any long.
As a kid, you had already
middle
had
schooler
was in you.
No, what I'm saying is.
No, wait, I know. Listen,
what's happening here?
Okay,
well, I mean,
so
11 years old is middle
all
school.
right, cool. All right, let's reset.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So one of the facts that you gave is in regards to children that, you know, statistically messing up more so, that usually comes from a single mother household, correct?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So if we take the conversation to it being a two-parent
single mother household. So when I say two-parent household, I'm saying married, having children, raising those children. Cool.
So let's take it to a two-parent household where one parent is a step-parent.
Mm-hmm.
That's still a two-parent household, right?
Yeah, but it's not the same.
You don't think so?
And I personally, again, I would never advise a guy, if this guy is single, he's taking care of business, he don't have no children or nothing like that, I'm not gonna sit here in good conscience and tell this man that he's supposed to get with a single mother. Absolutely not.
Hell no.
And that's
100%.
But there's so many single fathers that get with single mothers. So many single fathers.
So we just speaking about are we just speaking about the men who don't have children? Is that the reference? Or are you saying just all men?
Because I understand the men that doesn't have
children?
children, but there's so many single fathers that look towards.
I mean,
like I said, the majority
you
of
also
men
have to be
don't have
realistic
children out of
here.
wedlock.
Okay, where are you living? Right, we're living in America, and 1 out of every 4 kids are born with a single parent.
Yeah.
Or raised with a single parent,
Mhm.
right? And the rest of the world, it's at an 8%. So we're about 3 to 4 times more likely to have a child be raised out of wedlock or with only one parent, right? So when you look at the numerics, you're more likely than not to run, if you're a guy who doesn't have any kids, you're more likely than not, depending on your age, to run into a woman that has a kid, right? So I don't think we're advising anybody, hey, I advise you to go find a woman that has a kid with another man.
Yeah.
No, but what I'm saying is that the offer's not on the table depending on her behavior. Now, if she has 3, 4, 5 baby fathers, I would never advise that, right? Sorry to those women. But if you have one man, and, you had one man and now you have one child with that man, and maybe even 2, and that's something that you want to tie up your boots and walk in the path you want to walk
That's
down,
crazy.
I would say go ahead.
You see what I'm talking about? Pull yourself up from your bootstraps and take care of a child that ain't yours. Do you understand the insanity that is? You should not be taking care of someone else's kid. It is insane. And yes, we promote single mothers as being the best thing since sliced bread. My friend Sandra loves that line. I have no idea why. Because it's insane that we sit here and literally say, like, oh, we're not promoting. Yeah, we do promote it. Society does promote that nonsense. That you being a single mother is the most important thing in the world. It's stupid. It is really stupid. And men who don't have children should be encouraged to be better so they don't go after women with kids. Men with kids should go after those women because those women deserve that type of man. They should not be going after a woman with kids if you don't have kids. Stop it. Get some help.
That's why I brought up single fathers, because when you see a woman that is a single mother, that child has a father, right? Who's a single father?
That's insane.
Are we not putting those two together?
That's insane. I'm sorry. I'll do another video on the portion of it later. But this is exactly what I'm talking about before I sign out. Women should be shunned. Single mothers should be shunned for their actions. Women who do devious things should be shunned for their actions. We should not be promoting it as being totally 100% okay because society says it's okay. These women are doing things that they want no repercussions for. They want to be able to get away with what they're doing. No, hold these women accountable. Because if you don't, they're just going to continue doing it. You should not be dating a single mother unless you were a single father. We don't talk about how single mothers push the single fathers away. Don't want to talk about that because it bothers you. When you go ahead and save a single mother, you are going out there to give her some type of validation for her mistakes. She made a mistake, chose a no-neck dude, and now she wants to be forgiven. Like Constantine, he thinks he can put as many people, many demons in hell and get redeemed. No, he's still going to hell. Same thing for single mothers. You're supposed to protect your wound. You're supposed to make sure that the wound that you have is the most important thing in your life. But you give it away so freely to the same type of dudes that you know are not good, but they get your rocks off. And it's nobody's fault but your own because you chose to go that route. Am I right? So you can't go around blaming people because you don't like the fact that people are holding you accountable. It makes you feel bad. Men are held accountable all the time. Single fathers are held accountable all the time. But tell me, when was the last time someone said a single mother was held accountable? I'll wait.